Ready to do this shit? Oh, that was an old school fight. George Foreman versus Holyfield.
George Foreman versus Holyfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a...
mid-90s.
Oh, damn.
Early 90s. Way out of Foreman's prime. Still fucking best heavyweight boxer of all time.
Holyfield should make a grill of his own. He should make like a panini press.
Oh, dude, the story is... This is the myth. You can't trust Hulk Hogan, though. He originally got offered to put his name on the Foreman grill instead of George Foreman.
I heard that.
The hydro blender over the Foreman grill.
Oh, I didn't know about the hydro blender.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the hydro blender.
Exactly.
Yeah.
George Foreman probably has made more money off the Foreman grill than he has in boxing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Think about the fact, how many movies have you seen either show the infomercial of him doing it or have one in it or them refer to the Foreman grill?
A lot.
He gets paid every time that happens.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
I mean, especially right now, because that all happened during the 90s. Like, 90s nostalgia is at a fucking all-time high. And,
You know why it's such a good... why it's such a popular grill is because it does what it says it's going to do. It cooks food fast. It knocks fat off the meat. I just bought one yesterday at a garage sale.
Really?
Yeah. Top of the line.
My dad bought like 8 of them when they came out and gave them to everyone.
Dude, they are the 90s version of the microwave or the toaster.
Killing me, Smalls. But you're right. Yeah.
You know.
It's the 90s, like, I can't think of that thing that came out in the 80s, but pretty much anything in the 80s that became really popular for a brief moment, it's one of those things. But you're right, like the toaster, microwave, shit like that.
Yeah, the microwave was in the early 80s, late 70s. Like, it just changed how people cooked food.
Was it? I think it might have been the 70s.
70s?
Yeah. 80s microwave was always around.
But they were as big as this table.
Oh, yeah, they were fucking huge.
I remember the one I had.
They're like the size of an air conditioner.
And I think it gave us all cancer.
Yeah, 2 cranks, power, like the heat and the time. The time, yeah.
I
sometimes I wish they were still like that. That's simple.
Mm-hmm. Nothing's that simple now. It's like, oh, how much does your food weigh? You're like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, just because I seem awful loud and you seem not loud at all.
Do I seem louder now? I do.
You do. But I guess before I forget, I guess we can go ahead and call this number 4.
This is number 4.
But the early one will be the number 4 live show, which was kind of just a promo for Jeffy's fight. But it's with our guest Lenore, who won't leave us the fuck alone.
I don't know why. Usually she's pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think it might be that time where she's very flirty and crazy. But yes, this is episode number 4.
We haven't done one in a couple months, and I was kind of fiending for it.
No, I actually was going to talk to you about maybe doing it twice a month from time to time, just to get together again. Damn, girl. I'm about to lock you up. Throw away the key. But yeah, I was actually going to see if maybe we could do it once or twice a month from
Absolutely.
time to
time. As long as people keep watching. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy hanging out with you. This seems like the only time we get to actually hang out, so... yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I just realized the battery was going in and out. But no, I agree. More time to hang out is better in general. Which we should just, like, because it seems like every time we hang out, we do one of these. So maybe one time we should just hang out.
What do we do?
I think we could probably talk about doing one of these. To make it a production meeting, just to make it seem like legit.
I'll bring a notepad.
There we go. But which I think I'm actually going to start doing with more people anyway, like with other shows and shit. Just get together first, figure out how we're going to do it, how we want to do it, and then go from there, just so everyone isn't kind of just
hey, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
that would be good.
Get some guidelines, just so everything goes a lot smoother.
Yeah, I just kind of want to get into it. If you listen to the live feed, I have a fight tomorrow, so I want to do this, but I want to go home and relax as well. So let's just jump into this, Mark. All right, we're back at it.
Sorry about that.
No, we're good.
But yeah, what did you ask me right before I had to fuck with the camera?
Oh, I just said let's get into it.
Oh.
You know, this is the beginning of the summer, and with summer, that is the time for movies, and we both love movies. So, without me going to see any, which I'm going to get caught up on next week after, you know, I'm not training or anything, but I don't know if you've watched any of these. Wonder Woman, I hear, is amazing.
Have not seen it yet, but I am so happy to hear that a DC movie is getting great reviews.
Yes, finally.
Yep.
I'm a DC guy. I love DC.
Oh, me too. Me too. Can't tell. Although there's a
I mean,
Marvel
I like Marvel stuff too, but I think DC's a little darker, and I like that. I like the
grittier.
And you know, as much shit as Superman vs. Batman got, I like the movie.
It wasn't a bad movie, especially the extended version.
Yeah,
there were things about it I didn't like very much. I didn't particularly care for the Lex Luthor of it.
God, he was awful.
That
I think if they would have casted somebody else or actually wrote the character in a little bit better, the movie probably would have been.
Well, I think Jesse Eisenberg could have done a decent job at a normal Lex Luthor. I don't know why he didn't just. It had to be Zack Snyder. Or maybe it was. I mean, I don't want to blame Zack Snyder for everything because, in my opinion, he has made some good flicks in the beginning of his career. But
he's fizzled out.
Yeah,
I'm happy. He's done with them now because
I was defending him up until Batman vs Superman. Because people shit on me for this, but I liked Man of Steel.
I hear mixed reviews about that, and I've never been a Superman fan because I've kind of pushed that back. But I've heard good things about it. I've heard terrible things about it.
I liked it. I liked it enough to buy it. You know what I mean? So I was psyched when Man of Steel came out because I was like, cool. They're gonna start their own thing like Marvel, and this is a good start. And then I think Batman v Superman was the next one. It took 4 years for that shit to come out.
Yeah,
and it was disappointing. The theatrical cut for sure, but I still enjoyed it. I don't want to watch it over and over again. No, but I liked it.
It's not like the Nolan.
I'll watch it every couple of years.
The Nolan trilogy that.
Yeah,
I can watch.
I've watched so many times.
I've watched the Nolan trilogy probably, in an honest opinion, probably 20 times each movie.
I've even watched Dark Knight Rises quite a few times, and that's my least favorite of all of them. And
really,
it's nothing's as good as the Dark Knight. And the Dark Knight was so good.
Yeah,
the original was good, but I was really good. Batman Begins, but I saw that so many fucking times. So I've seen that more than any of them.
Right.
I think I saw that in theaters twice. You know what I mean? So
I don't have a favorite, to be honest with you, because I love the Joker and the Dark Knight, but I really thought, oh god, what's his name? Played a great Bane too.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. I thought that's one of my favorite actors, and I couldn't think of his name.
I thought the Bane he played was cool, but it wasn't Bane. You know what I mean? It was nothing like Bane. Didn't sound like Bane. Didn't look like Bane. The only thing that made him anything like Bane is that he had a weird mask on his face. Mm-hmm. Other than that, he was just like a Scottish terrorist.
Bane,
even though he was from Brazil or whatever. Yeah. But he sounded Scottish, and he is Scottish.
Bane has always been kind of like a henchman, he's always been the guy that can whoop Batman's ass.
Yeah. And he's always been huge. He's always had venom infused in him and shit.
But Nolan's series is so realistic, but it still has that superhero aspect to it where it could never really happen that way. But it was so realistic, I couldn't imagine them putting green, green venom in his body and making him superhuman and stuff. So
no, I agree.
But I liked it how they tied it in with the League. What is it? The League of Shadows. Is that the name?
Yeah. Was also known as the League of Assassins.
Yeah, and that was cool because then it's you were trained by the same guy, Ra's al Ghul, so that's why you know what I'm doing before.
Threw Talia in there too.
Yeah,
which was cool. You ever saw that internet video where they're making fun of that scene where
it's so funny?
Oh my god! And he's like, I forgot what he says. He's like, the suit seals in the flavor. When he's talking about her going down on him and shit.
It was great. I just watched one yesterday. It was from Batman Begins when he hangs the fat guy with the big, like all the big hair and stuff.
Oh, the guy from Sons of Anarchy,
yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah, he hangs him up there, but it's like a parody of it, and he comes out with like a weird voice. And he's like, "No, that's not it." And finally, he's like, I just lost my voice. You like that for real? What'd he say? Oh yeah, I swear to God. Swear to me.
Some of those lines are great. I heard a story one time that a guy met Christian Bale in the mall, and like a bunch of people were around him asking for autographs, and he said Christian Bale was really cool. And he said, "Man, I wish my wife was here to meet you and stuff." So he said Christian Bale actually walked with him and looked for her for a moment. It's like, but as they started, he's like, "Oh, let's go find my wife." And he's like, "Where is she?" He's just like, "That's what I knew I loved Christian Bale."
And I've heard nothing but bad things about Christian Bale. About
Really?
being an asshole and hard to work
even
with.
his own like mom and sister or something like that were like talking shit about him for a little while. But yeah, I've heard he's kind of an asshole.
Well, when you're an A-list celebrity, dude, you cannot constantly be nice to people. And like I get it, and like I'm known because I fight locally. Like nobody knows me around the world or anything like that. And like as much as I love the support, like I get asked the same damn questions over and over and it becomes like you just keep. I mean, it's really the same answer every time. Yeah, I don't know when I'm fighting next. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's just such a huge gap in between. So there's a lot of time there where you don't know. And you probably get... Because the time there is much larger than the time than you do now, you're getting all those questions in that time period, so it seems like a lot.
It is. And this guy's an A-list celebrity known around the world. I'm sure he's sick of people walking up to him as he's eating lunch... minding his own damn business. Hey, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta let these people be humans.
Well, most of the shit I've heard about him wasn't actually... Like, there's a couple things I heard where it was people coming up to him and, like, talking to him. But most of the shitty things I heard about him were, like, on set and stuff like that.
Yeah, the one meltdown.
Where
I'm sure you've
on
heard
Terminator,
that.
where they recorded it and they put it on the internet and he just went off on this dude. But what most people don't realize is... that was like a guy in production. He was walking through, I forget what he did, but he basically walked right through the scene and took him and pretty much everybody completely out of the scene and fucked everything up, which most people don't realize because they're not actors and shit. Like, in order for you to buy the movie, in order for him to be as good as he is as an actor, he has to fucking like put himself in that moment. And when you kill that, it kills everything.
It could ruin the whole day.
So the guy went off on him. And I guess he even went off on the guy, and then went off on the director for hiring such a fucking, like, incompetent worker. And so, I mean, kind of in his defense, but not really. I mean, I could see some of his assholishness, I think, would be justified, because I'm an asshole sometimes, too.
Yeah.
But I'm not an asshole for no fucking reason.
Right.
I mean, sometimes I might be. Ask my girlfriend. But,
I mean, sometimes
well,
you just
not for
have
no reason.
No, you always have. People have bad days, but let me tell you, Terminator Salvation sucked.
No, it wasn't good.
It was. I almost walked out of it in theaters because I'm a huge Terminator fan.
I didn't see it in theaters. I downloaded it and watched it on. I could remember I watched it on a tiny little iPod because that's how long ago that movie came out, and it was so not worth ruining my eyes to watch it on a 2-inch screen.
Yeah, it was just. I tried to go back and rewatch it. I was like, maybe I missed something. I was just like, no, it's just not a good movie. Well,
I mean, I like the Terminator movies, but I'm not huge on them. I know you're a big Terminator fan. Yeah. So that was probably way more disappointing. It was
that might have been part of it. I had high expectations too. I'm like, I've always wanted them to like make a movie about the actual war. Yeah. After Judgment Day, and they did.
That's what enticed me so much about that movie.
I was like, sucks.
They had the weird future timeline thing though, where Kyle Reese was young, but John Connor was old.
That was the last one they made. I think it was called
No, Genesis is that one, but the one right. I can't remember what the one was called.
Salvation,
yeah. Christian Bale was older, like old John Connor. Mm-hmm. The oldest probably we ever saw John Connor in that movie. And but Kyle Reese was young, but they existed in the same weird timeline for some reason. That was really.
Well, that's because in the original movie, John Connor sent Kyle Reese back to.
Oh yeah,
save
he basically
his mom,
created his existence.
He knew that Kyle Reese was his dad.
See, that's crazy. See, I always wonder, like, all right, well, who was his dad before Kyle Reese then? Because in order for him to send Kyle Reese back, he had to have been born in the first place, right?
Yeah. So I think what they try to explain is there's timelines. There's a infinite amount of timelines.
Yeah. So in one timeline, he was created, but since his creation in that one timeline, it spurred so many other timelines.
Yes.
So in another timeline, he died and never got brought back to life. But in another timeline, he didn't. He sent him back. He did that shit, and they saved the world.
Yes.
Another timeline, they didn't save the world.
Exactly. So
in this timeline, fucking the guy from Avatar comes in, and he's a Terminator too, but he doesn't know until like it's confusing. It's very confusing.
In the last Terminator movie, I didn't have high expectations, and it actually wasn't terrible. It wasn't good.
I didn't like what they did. They
just all over the place.
Well, they turned Skynet into an app. Apparently now Skynet started out as an application on your phone in this timeline, I guess.
Yeah.
But and John Connor, spoiler alert.
If you haven't watched it, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, I think it's safe now. But John Connor was a fucking T whatever. Mm-hmm. He was a fucking Terminator.
That's right.
That made up of tiny little Terminators that could fucking like. It's pretty much, it was like, how can we take the liquid guy from Terminator 2 and make him just a bunch of little robots. But he does the same thing, but instead of it being liquid, he's a bunch of little
robots. What happened here? Oh, we lost.
Bring this over here so I can move it and bring it back to life.
God, I love Terminator talk.
But yeah, I'm waiting for a new good Terminator, because I haven't seen a really good one since the second one.
Yeah, 3 was when 3 first came out, I was blown away by it, and now I watch them
I watched 3 in theaters and remember really enjoying it, and watching it later, not so much.
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't stand.
I think it was just the time. It was the late 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like
it was a new Terminator movie. Arnold was still young enough to be the Terminator and be buyable or believable. And there was a hot Terminator girl.
She was smoking hot, too.
And I was like a 17, 16-year-old boy. So I think it was just the time.
Yep. It just hit at the right time. But yeah, you go back and watch it now, it's just not the same.
It's not terrible. It's just
it's watchable.
Great.
It's definitely watchable. Another movie that I'm absolutely dying to see. I actually thought about seeing it tonight, but I'm just gonna go home. Is the new Alien movie?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but shit about it. But
that's terrible.
But I mean, but I haven't heard that much. But the only things I've heard were bad things.
Bad. I heard they went back to the original, like, horror sci-fi, not so much the action sci-fi of it.
Well, that doesn't bother me so much that people don't like this one, because people didn't like Prometheus, and I liked Prometheus.
I heard Prometheus is great. I still have to see it.
I think the people that didn't like it didn't understand the weird, like, scientific theories behind it all. Because from the opening scene, I was like, Prometheus is sweet. After that, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as cool. But that opening scene of Prometheus was fucking awesome.
How do they, and that's tied in, right? It's not a prequel. It's kind of like
it is, and I've only seen it the one time, so I don't remember a lot about it. But it kind of is a prequel.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I got a lot of movies to watch next week.
It's definitely worth a watch, especially if you like the Alien movies.
I do like Aliens. Both Alien and Aliens I liked a lot.
I saw I don't know if it opened last weekend, or I think it opens this weekend, today probably, but they made a Captain Underpants movie.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything about it, but I play Fantasy Movie League, which is like a fantasy football league, but you own a theater and you have to pick 8 movies every week, and based on how well they do at the box office.
That is an awesome app.
That's pretty cool.
I've never heard of it, but it's awesome.
FML, which every time I see it, I think fuck my life, but it's Fantasy Movie. You can download it. You can join the Matt Archer League. It's only me and Hayward, the guy that does the gaming videos. But and we've been doing it for like a year and a half now, and he kicks my ass most of the time. But it's fun. If you like that sort of thing, you should definitely check it out.
I'm gonna check it out.
You people too, and then join the Matt Archer League, and we can all. It won't just be me and Jesse going head on every fucking week. But what was I saying? Oh, I saw that. That's how I found out it was coming out. Is because it was one of the
picks. I know. My girlfriend's nephew used to be into the books a lot. He's like, he'll be 8 this year. But yeah, I knew nothing about it until they started talking about it.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, okay.
They were okay. The reason I brought it is because I think those came out back when we were kids.
I don't read.
But I remember. You remember? What was his name? James. We went to school with him.
James Long.
James, maybe. Freckles,
James
red
Long.
hair. Yeah, funny guy.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I think he came in like 2nd grade. We met him, but he loved those books. Like I think he even dressed up as Captain Underpants for one of the school like Halloween parties and
Probably.
shit one time. And so I immediately thought of him. So I thought, and I knew you were friends with him too. So I thought maybe you knew what it was.
Yeah, it was James Long.
Yeah, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened to that guy.
I actually a couple years ago ran into him.
Yeah?
He was down at the Landmark getting drunk.
Really?
I was like, all right, that's what I like to do too.
I haven't seen him in forever. But yeah. Well, shit. There's a bunch of movies I want to see that King Arthur movie, but that movie did terrible, I guess. I heard it wasn't a bad movie. But you heard about it?
No, I know. Yeah, I know of it. Who's in that?
The guy from Sons of Anarchy plays King Arthur.
Yeah.
A few people from Game of Thrones, directed by Guy Ritchie.
I love Guy Ritchie.
And the trailers looked really cool, and I wanted to see it, but it bombed, dude. It didn't do near. I mean, it obviously made some money, but
it was probably worldwide. It probably made decent money.
I think it went up against Guardians of the Galaxy and shit too,
which I heard was terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only heard good things about it.
I heard it not nearly as good as the first one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's one opinion though.
I heard that it's almost better than the first one, but the only reason they say that is because you didn't get the whole origin of them. It just went right into it. So that's why they liked it more than the first one, because you get right into the fun of it. But I mean, that's one person's opinion.
So,
but I love the first one.
First one's funny.
I don't imagine I'm gonna not like the second one.
Right.
It's doing really well. You're the first person to tell me something bad about it, honestly.
Like I said, one person's opinion. I was going to go see it, but I had to go to train instead. So, like I said, I'm going to catch up on a lot of movies, and then, I'll talk about them next time I'm here. But,
gotcha.
What else was I going to say? I just had it in my head, too. What's your favorite Guy Ritchie movie?
I haven't seen them all, but I really enjoyed Snatch.
Yeah.
Wasn't that him?
Yeah.
That was I saw Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels a long ass time ago. One time.
That is a movie that I did not like the first time. The second time I watched it, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
That one's good. Snatch is probably the best, but Rock and Rolla is.
I've never seen Rock and Roll. I know what it is, but I've never seen it. I'll watch it now.
Man, that competes with Snatch.
Does it?
Yeah.
Shit,
I've
never seen it.
Same format, no main character.
Did Guy Ritchie do Bronson? That movie with Tom Hardy?
I want to say
about? That seems like a Guy Ritchie movie.
It does, and I couldn't get through that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I
liked it. That movie was weird.
It was super weird. I liked it, but I started losing interest in it. Maybe, I don't know. I just wasn't in a movie mood or something, but I love Tom Hardy.
I remember enjoying it. I've only seen it the one time, but I remember enjoying it. But it just had a very weird Guy Ritchie feel to me now that.
Like the times where he was like dressed up as the mime.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this really happening? Or is this in his head?
At what point wasn't he fighting somebody like completely fucking naked, just dick flopping around? Like, yeah, that movie was crazy.
They say the real guy is like fun as hell, but he's like literally the meanest guy. Like you just don't cross him.
Oh,
he's known. I guess he could have been out of jail hundreds of times, but every time he does it, he gets in this huge fight, and they put him right back. They just are like, nope, not ready for it.
Shit. That reminds me of another, and I believe it was Tom Hardy. He played twin gangsters. I think the movie was called Legend, and it was based on real twins that were gangsters, like Irish gangsters or something like that. But they were gay and they were brothers and they fucked each other.
That seems like a Tom Hardy movie.
Like that. I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the trailer and then I watched. I can't remember what I saw, but I saw like a story on these guys. And I just remember hearing that story and going, these guys are really fucking weird, man. That's weird. So it made me want to watch the movie just because I was just like, that's so crazy.
I'm just not into butt sex, so.
Well, I mean, that's not the reason. I'm just
no,
like,
I know.
They were like killers. They were brothers. They like. I think it was Rob Dyke. I don't know if he is, but he does these videos on YouTube where he'll tell you about like serial killers or like top 10 craziest gangsters.
I
and
like
shit
watching
like that.
stuff like that.
And these were one of them. And just the way he presented these guys to me, I was like, holy shit, that's
pretty awesome.
Scarily interesting as fuck. And once I heard that he played these guys in a movie, I was like, fuck, I want to see that movie. But I haven't seen it yet. It's called Legend, I believe. Or Legend.
What's the one
like
with Shia LaBeouf or whatever?
Oh, and Tom Hardy? Oh, and there's like a Western, almost.
It's like a 1920s,
yeah.
like, I can't remember the name of it.
Kind of gangster.
Yeah, they're like, I think they're good guys, but they're fighting. Lawless. Yeah. I gotta watch that because I started watching another thing. Netflix. You start watching something, you fall asleep, or
I think I had a similar thing. Like somebody was like, "Hey, let's watch this movie," and they came to my house and we watched it. But I was like doing stuff at the same time. But I remember thinking that movie was kind of cool. But I don't. I just remember those two and it being like a period piece movie.
I need to. All right. I love talking movies. I love movies. It's like people always, the book's so much better. Like, no, it's not.
You know what? Why the book isn't better? Because I can't know the whole story in 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the book is better because you get more. But, like,
I don't need to know, though, somebody's wearing a green hat and brown shoes, though.
For 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't need to know that it's double-stitched and fucking the trees.
They are very...
have 15,000 different colors, and you don't need to list all of them.
Are you talking about Lord of the Rings?
Pretty much.
I won't touch one of them books. I've never even actually watched the movies.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of like...
I love the movies. I used to have them all bought. I only have the last one now, and that's because it's fucked up and nobody would buy it from me. But I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm the guy that bought the fucking 8-disc, for one movie box set and watched the 4 hours of special features multiple times because it's just a 4-hour documentary.
Yeah, I like documentaries.
I love that shit. Like I was just talking to my boss at work the other day. I'm the guy that'll pay $45 for the special edition steelbook of the Blu-ray because it comes with 5 collector cards and a 90-minute documentary. He's like, I've been listening to a podcast where a guy actually talked about, like, you're not paying for the movie, you're paying for that 90-minute documentary. Yeah. I was like, that's absolutely right.
That's like...
I just happened to get the movie as well.
I did it with the Scott Hall DVD. I knew it was going to be on the network eventually.
Yeah.
But there was the regular edition, and then there was the Blu-ray special edition. Mm-hmm. Came in the steel case and had 20 extra matches or whatever.
And they fucking cater to dudes like me. Like, they pander to me now because Target's got an exclusive cover. You know what I mean? That comes with 5 collectible postcards or something. And then Walmart's got one that's got a Walmart exclusive cover that pops out and blah, 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 blah.
Bunch of shit.
And then Best Buy has the Steelbook for everything, which I love Steelbooks. Yeah. I love them.
They are sweet.
And they have... I'm a sucker for that shit.
Well, they know that.
I want the coolest one, you know what I mean?
And it's not like you're not going to show them off. It's just for you.
It's for me.
Personal satisfaction.
It's sentimental value, I guess. Yep. Personal value.
All right. Well, let's
And sometimes it does pay off in the end, though.
What's that?
Buying those special ones, because after a while. You look for if you type that shit in on eBay, it's probably twice as much than what you paid for it. So,
yeah, if you have intentions on maybe selling it somewhere down the road, that's the one that people want to buy.
Yep.
They don't want to buy the normal black.
You could still buy the normal one, you know.
Right, it's still in or not theaters, but it's on. You can go to Exchange and buy that.
Yeah, for like $6.
Yeah.
I agree.
Next thing I wanted to talk about, which is just maybe it's like beating a dead horse. I'm not sure, but how do you think the President of the United States is doing, and how do you feel about the protesters?
I'm probably the worst guy here to ask about that sort of thing, because honestly, I don't follow it. And I've been super busy. I do hear some things from time to time. Like I don't know how anybody doesn't hear unless you don't have a social media account about celebrities saying bullshit. So I hear about like Kathy Griffin and Bill Maher and shit like that.
Kathy Griffin thing I think was ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think people should care that much either. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason it's as ridiculous as it is because people made it as ridiculous as it is. But, like, when it comes to, like, what he's actually doing to cause this stuff, I couldn't tell you what's happening, really.
That's kind of where I'm at, too.
But I hear about all the bullshit because of it. But, like, half the things, when I do find out something he did, I was like, that's not that terrible. Right. I mean, like, that's not I mean, it's probably not what Obama or Clinton or whoever would have done, or probably not what Hillary would have done or something. But I mean, like, I kind of see why he does it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't support the guy, but I don't bash him either.
No, that's kind of where I'm at too. Is it's like getting a guy and not give like someone new at work. And not giving the guy a chance to begin, he could be an awesome worker.
It just takes him a little while to get in the swing of things.
Exactly. And everybody, all these people are absolutely nuts right now about, what he's doing, what he's not doing. But when it comes down to it is the way I said it is his job, a good president in my book is somebody that I can go to bed at night and not be scared for my life. Like,
he's just gonna press a button and fucking
Russia gonna come over and get us? Is North Korea gonna drop some bombs? Nothing's happened yet. Did anything happen with Obama? No, but I just don't see the issue. That people are making issues out of nothing, and just like Kathy Griffin said, like, the only reason this is getting blown out of proportion is because he's using this to pretty much take all the attention off of something else that's going on.
Which could be true.
Could be possible. But when Obama was in office, they acted like these school shootings and all this craziness weren't to distract you from stuff up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't do that.
Even though they probably were just as much, it was just as likely with him as it is now.
And so, yeah, and it's documented. Like,
actually, I would almost think that it would be more likely with Obama than Trump.
These left, the left or whatever, they, Obama never did it, but Trump's doing it. It's like, this is the world we live in now, that this is what happens. Just remember you were telling me about the whole town that flooded.
Yeah, with oil. And nobody knew a damn thing about it.
Did you see that?
I think the Boston bombings were going on at the time. Or something like that.
Right.
That's all you heard about.
Did you
And didn't they find out that those two dudes that they killed or whatever had nothing to do with it? Didn't that later come out that those two dudes... I don't know,
because the one that survived is still on trial.
Is he?
Yeah, he's still in prison.
I don't know.
But you haven't heard anything about it.
No, you haven't heard a fucking thing about any of that.
Sandy Hook.
Since it happened.
Sandy Hook, yeah, nobody...
People still bring it up from time to time, but really, when people bring it up, they talk... It's just them being mad about conspiracy theories about it. That's the only time I ever hear
Here's what I was going to say about that, too, is people that aren't conspiracy theorists, there's so much information out that they're like, yeah, maybe.
I mean,
like, when you got them doubting it...
Did you ever see a piece of video about that looked like Columbine or anything like that? No. All you saw was a bunch of news reporters on a street. You never really saw a school. You never really saw anything happening.
Well, they're saying the building that they kept showing wasn't even the school.
Yeah. And all the reporters you saw and shit were like 2 miles down the road.
Yeah. No ambulance, no police, no parents.
All the parents were cool as a cucumber. Some of them were even like happy.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw that one guy. You know what I'm talking about.
We've talked about this before. I think on a previous podcast, but it's crazy how easy it is to buy into a lot of conspiracy theories because of how much evidence there is that is pretty convincing. Some of them I think are bogus as fuck. Like, no, come on, you're really stretching here.
Yes.
Some of them I think are like way possible of being true. It's just there's all these dipshits out there that make outrageous claims about it and make it look ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of them, it's just obvious that something was afoot. Some treachery was afoot here.
And what's, like, all the things that are going on in England now? Is it as bad as they say it is? Is it...
Oh, we, as Americans, we have no idea.
We're only knowing, like, okay, so...
We only know what people tell us, and you can only trust half of what people tell you.
Here's the thing. There's a guy, I don't know how CNN did this and didn't think it was going to... Especially with how everybody has a camera phone now. Everybody. Grandmas have camera phones. There's a video out there that CNN set up a fake protest to push an issue. Oh, they literally said, okay, you stand here, you stand here, you stand here. Okay, you over there, you guys stand over there, make some noise.
Oh, they made a TV show.
And they said, roll.
Yep.
They weren't even protesting.
There was the director. There were people doing what his directions. They were actors. Like, I don't know if there was payment going on, but I mean, that was a production. That was a pre-produced piece of television, not news or information. It was a show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They do that all the time.
It's
crazy.
Could be, Fox News could do the same thing. I don't know, but CNN got put on blast for it.
It's the same people you see in fucking bipolar medication commercials and shit like that, where it says actor portrayals. These people, if they didn't say actor portrayal down there, they act so well that you would be convinced that they actually have this problem, this medical issue. Mm-hmm. But they're bullshitting you. They tell you at the bottom, this is bullshit, basically. That's what that little line of dialogue is there. And then this person continues to, like, cry, get emotional. Like, that's a crisis actor. They're being employed for a fucking TV commercial right now. They're supposed to act like they're in a life-altering situation. Like, they have this issue that they deal with in their life. Like, a crisis. It's no different than that.
That's exactly what it is.
Except they're just doing it in a live setting on location.
And I think, and I'm not saying I am a genius, I'm smart, anything like that, but there's so many people that we went to school with, or other people went to school with, and probably got A's and B's, but they don't have a mind of their own. You know what I mean? Oh, that seems legit. Yeah, I better get put on that. I'm kind of sad today.
Somebody says something, oh, that must be true.
Yep, and I hate that. You gotta ask questions.
Yeah.
But that's another thing when you bring up the depression thing. How much over medication that this country's on, and now it's coming back to bite us in the ass. Or it's not, because how many opium or whatever fields do we have over in Afghanistan that we're guarding?
Yeah.
It's all a fucking system.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then we got fucking rock stars killing themselves because of prescription medication and shit.
Was that what they came out with, Chris Cornell?
Yeah, Ativan. He took he took like 2 Ativan, is what his wife said, and which causes suicidal thoughts, which he's been taking Ativan for depression, and he was like addicted to heroin too, and I guess that's something they give you for heroin addiction. Mm-hmm. And so he's been taking it for a while, and I guess he told his wife on the phone that he took an extra Ativan, probably because of the stress of touring and shit like that. And everybody said that he wasn't himself that night at that show. He was slurring his words. He seemed like he was a little fucked up, and he just wasn't himself, I guess. And then they found him later in the hotel room. He hung himself.
He hung himself.
But ever since then, they talked about toxicology reports, and his wife has said shit about like how she wants like a real investigation into what caused this, because he was not suicidal. She said he wasn't. There was no reason for him to be. This is completely
kids,
out of nowhere.
Wife.
Yeah, I mean he talked at that show that he played the night he died about going to like Cleveland or something next week, and like
he was doing Rock on the Range.
Like it seems
down
as if he
Columbus,
had no suicidal tendency until after the show, maybe sometime during the show because he took it before. Somewhere during that show, it all started to go downhill for him mentally, I guess. Is what I put together in my head from all the information I took. Because I spent like a week and a half just in like a Chris Cornell world after he died. Because I loved Soundgarden since I was a kid. And then just like when Prince died and David Bowie died and shit, people I liked already, I just live in their little world for like a week after they died.
Well, a lot of people do, and it's kind of cool.
It's like a memorial type deal for yourself and your nostalgia. But so I watch like interviews and shit like that, and then anytime, because I watch that, YouTube suggests shit to you, and then you see Chris Cornell's wife says this, and then you watch a little news clip that could be true,
go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
you can't get out.
Yep, until you realize it's 2:00 in the morning, and you got to get up for work in fucking 6 hours. Fuck. But yeah, I forgot how I got on that subject. Oh, prescription drugs killed Chris Cornell, apparently, from what I've read.
I'm thinking it's
along with himself.
They have to do it. I mean, I understand, because my family has a history of depression. I have actually been on medication for depression in high school, and it's something I live with it every day. There's some days that you're in a room full of the people you love the most in the world, and you feel like you're alone. I still go through it all the time. If it wasn't for my daughter, my girlfriend, her family, my friends, and fighting, and I have that outlet, my life could be completely different right now. So when I hear of people that are depressed, and it kind of hits home, because if you have it, you understand it a little bit better than the people that don't have it. I'm sure everybody gets depressed. Yeah. But when you have depression like that,
it's on a whole nother level.
Oh my God, man.
No.
And I've been better the last few years, but like, man, there's still some days that it's like, you don't want to get out of bed.
I've been there too, man. There's been some really fucking down times in my life, and with legit reasons to be like, what the fuck? Like, just shit happens, and it's hard to deal with. In his case, I don't know what it was, but I'm sure his wife.
We're going to have to edit that one out, eh?
No, I might keep it in. It might be the best part of the show. And we're still recording, thank God. That's in no way acceptable. All right. I think I might keep that in there. If I don't, for anybody that didn't see what just happened, I believe it was Lenore knocked the fucking camera over.
She's been wanting to be part of the show quite a while now.
But I forgot what I was saying. Something about Chris Cornell.
Yeah, about the depression.
I'm sure, because I even thought about it in that like week and a half span about Chris Cornell. I'm sure his wife was trying to figure out what the fuck happened in that like 12-hour period. Or no, actually, because I think she couldn't get a hold of him, and she called somebody to go up to his room and that's how they found him. So however long that period was between the show and whatever. But I'm sure she had to ask herself what the fuck happened. And I asked the same thing, because it didn't make any fucking sense when you first heard about it, until you heard the word Ativan. If he hadn't been on tour, and hadn't been as, God knows why he took an extra Ativan. I would assume it's because it's an anxiety medication. He's probably pretty stressed out.
Right.
Especially being on tour. If he would have been at home, with his family?
Probably not.
He'd probably still be alive today.
Yeah, because you'd probably look at, he has what, a daughter, a son?
I know he has a daughter. I don't know how many kids he has, but I know he has a daughter because I saw him do a cover of Redemption Song with her.
I mean,
but
he would probably look at his daughter and his wife and be like, that might get him out of the funk a little bit.
Well, he wouldn't even have that stress of touring and shit. So the Ativan might not have even been necessary. That extra one wouldn't have been.
Right. Definitely would have been overkill, which it was.
So what's the real issue here? Is it the Ativan? Partly, I would think. Or is it life in general? Is it the stress of things? Is it the circumstances that you're in at the moment?
It's a two-headed snake, though, because you got to put food on the table, too.
But, I mean, it's just for the moment. Like, when that tour's over, he's going to be there doing that thing again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, with his family, probably pretty happy.
Right. I'm saying the tour. I think the depression on top of the tour and the anxiety and the medication, for sure, I think it did him in.
I have no doubt it was a combination of many different things. Who
knows if he was dabbling with some alcohol or.
He probably was. I don't know.
Like hitting it hard, or because I don't know, man. There's so many factors.
I think. There, not one source is to blame. I think some are more to blame than others. I think if Ativan wasn't involved at all, it probably would have been a lot better of a situation for him.
It would make it a little bit more clear.
But, I mean, you can't just blame one thing. Everything in that situation needs to take responsibility for that sort of thing.
All I'm saying is God, please don't take Eddie Vedder now. He's the last one. He really is.
I'm going to cry that day. I almost cried when Chris Cornell died because he was like my number 2.
Yeah, I was never a Soundgarden fan, but the dude had some pipes on.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't love every Soundgarden song, but I loved a lot of them. A lot of them. But yeah.
Well, we just went down a sad.
We did. We should change the subject.
I got about 10 minutes left, so
yeah, I kind of derailed us with depression and suicide.
No, it was good. It was a good talk, though.
It's a topic of the moment, I guess.
I don't have much after that. You got anything?
I was just about to say, I'm sorry I didn't bring anything to the table this time around. I was in production mode most of this time. I've saw a couple really good movies lately that most people that I've brought it up to haven't talked about, and since we love movies, I'm sure you'd like to hear about it at least. I saw a really good fucking movie with Michael Keaton lately. I think it came out maybe last year, maybe early this year. It was called The Founder. And he played a guy, it was a true story, he played a guy named Ray Kroc that basically stole McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers. Dude, the movie was so fucking good. It was real. It sounds like boring as shit, but dude, it was awesome.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It was really good. Michael Keaton, the guy who played Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, plays one of the McDonald's brothers. And then the guy, his name is John Carroll Lynch. He played Twisty, the clown on American Horror Story. And he played Drew Carey's brother on the Drew Carey show, the cross-dresser guy. He played the other McDonald's brother. And then, like, Linda Cardellini from Freaks and Geeks and shit, and Scooby-Doo is fucking on there, too. And the guy from Watchmen played Night Owl. He's in, like, Insidious and all those fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Zack Snyder. I think he plays
That's his name,
Poseidon in Aquaman. Well,
really?
Zack Snyder is the director, but his name is, I think it's Patrick Wilson? Something like that.
He was in Hard Candy.
Yeah, the guy that gets tortured by Spoiler alert. But no, I
don't watch it, please. You'll give you nightmares.
Yeah, it's scary. It was a good movie, but scary,
Very
freaky.
scary.
Ellen Page was terrifying.
She was.
But I like that guy a lot. There's not too many things I've seen him in that I didn't like him in, but he was in it too.
That was a good cast.
Yeah, there's a few other people in it too that pop up, but man, it was a good movie.
I'll watch it just for Ron Swanson.
Been watching 13 Reasons Why on Netflix.
Mears told me to get into that.
Haven't watched the last episode. I have some issues with it, but I like it. There's some of it I'm just like, I watch that show and I think, if this is how fucking kids are today, kids today are little fucking cocksuckers.
They actually are.
I mean, I don't even agree with the main character in the show sometimes, but like, I can't relate to a lot of this stuff in this show because like, it just seems so outrageously cruel to me. Like, I'm just like, who does this shit? Everybody got picked on in high school, but like, I feel now like kids are more accepting of like it's because of the internet,
the homosexuality, and like just the kind of dorky kids don't get picked on because everybody's kind of a dork now. They like the nerdy stuff, but like the cyberbullying, dude, is. And I haven't watched the show, so I might be speaking out of turn here, but it is so bad now. Like, you hear this kid, or like, just for instance, like, I've watched videos of high school kids walking up to like a mentally handicapped or mentally challenged person and just punch them in the face because it's funny.
What the fuck, dude?
We didn't do that shit.
If that happened when you and I were in high school, we would be beating that person's ass.
Absolutely.
Like, and I'm not somebody that, like, just starts fight with people, but if I saw that shit happening, I would have fucking, without hesitation, went over there and decked that dude.
Yeah.
I don't care if he was bigger than me, anything. I would be protecting that dude. Even if I didn't like the mentally handicapped kid. Even if he pissed me off and shit. Like,
you just don't do it.
Imagine, you remember, what was his name? Something Nichols. Little, short kid.
Joey?
Was that his name? I can't remember.
He was little blonde kid?
No.
Oh.
Thin guy, looked real, curly hair, cut real short. I can't remember his name. I know I think his last name is Nichols. Something. He had glasses. Loved the guy. Really. If somebody would have went up and just decked that kid in the face just because he had some issues, I would have been so upset because I liked that kid a lot. Like, he wasn't even really like handicapped. You could just tell that like something was up with him, but like
slow.
Yeah, but he was actually really sweet, funny. Like, he was awesome. God, I wish I had a yearbook I'd show, because as soon as I showed him to you, you'd be like, yeah, I know him. But yeah, that shit would piss me off.
Yeah, the shit that kids do today is just insane. But then they're more, like I said, they're more accepting of things that we weren't. Like.
And again, I think it's the internet. They're so programmed to hate or accept hate because of comments and cyberbullying and shit. Which cyberbullying really isn't a big part of that show. I mean, it kind of is, but it's very little part of the show. I won't talk too much more about the show, but because of cyberbullying and the anonymity of it and the absolutely no consequences of it. It's completely fucked people's mindset about manners and
kids
just general
very little manners today.
Respect.
Yep. Dude, that is my biggest issue with the generation, the kids now is, when we were growing up, parents ruled the house. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that think otherwise now, but I think it's okay to maybe fear your parents a little bit. Not to the point where, oh God, dad's home. But to the point where I can't do that. I can't fuck up because my dad will kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids don't have that issue anymore. They're like I hear it all the time. Yeah, I don't spank my kid because they threatened to call. I did it once and they threatened to call the cops on me.
That's why they fucking threatened to call the cops on you.
What?
Because you didn't fucking put your kid in line when he needed it.
Yeah, I got my ass whooped
like
on a regular basis, and I had no issues with my father or mother for that.
Dude, if I did something in fucking Kmart when I was a kid, and I was just being a little fucking asshole, my mom would get fed up and she would just fucking smack me across the ass and be like, stop it.
Yeah.
No. And I would stop.
Even though
nowadays, if you did that, everybody would jump on you. Well, maybe not everybody, but at least one person, probably 8 times out of 10, somebody's going to say something to you if they witnessed.
To your kid,
like, I can't believe, or maybe not say something to you, but fucking make a backhanded comment about it afterwards to their friend or some shit,
Right.
or say something to target. Like, if I saw that shit, I would immediately think of what led up to this.
Yeah.
Is this kid a little fucking asshole? Did this kid... Is this mom just fed up at this point? She's been dealing with it all fucking day. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
People are way too quick to judge.
Now, if I see a kid getting the shit kicked out of them,
Yes, something
That's
that's
when
completely unreasonable. Yeah.
But a smack on the ass, yeah, I think the kids would have a little bit more respect these days.
I feel very similarly about public breastfeeding. I don't give a shit. Yeah, you probably shouldn't just have your boobie hanging out, but I mean, most people are respectful about that shit. So you shouldn't shame motherfuckers for doing that sort of
It
thing.
don't bother me. I mean, they're boobs.
They've been doing it for fucking hundreds of years.
Since the beginning of
They're not
time.
going to stop doing it now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I think that's it. 'Cause I
Yeah.
gotta get going.
that's not really a much better note to end things on, but it's not as grim.
We talked
and
about
dark.
boobies. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was a high note there at the end. Yep, the natural booby doing its thing. Thanks for watching episode number 4 of Jam Up, Jeff and Mark's Untitled Podcast. Hopefully, eventually, I won't need to say that at the end anymore because people will just know. But
I like it.
I like it too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out Jeffy's fight tomorrow at Summit County Fairgrounds. Doors open at 7. Fight starts at 8.
I think it actually might open at 6:30. Start at
7?
Yeah.
7:30. Right there, people. If you don't believe us or want to double check, I'm sure it's on your Facebook page. Or
It
just
is.
look up, what is it, RFO Big Guns.
RFO Big Guns 24.
There you
I
go.
think.
But even though now that I think about it, once this comes out, it's going to be all over and done with.
Yeah.
I thought we were live
I'll have
still.
my hand raised. It'll be all good.
Well, we'll do a follow-up on that one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a celebration episode. Until next time,
See ya.
Walt says goodbye.